thoughts and my feedback about this. But my leave, that should be the title of this video. Leave. Because if at some point you are so unhappy and so frustrated and so in angst and so in pain, and everything that you feel like is causing that, or the majority of what you feel like is causing that, is this other person, leave. That's the advice. Period. That's it. Because at the end of the day, we have to prioritize self-preservation. And if you've tried and you tried and you've tried and you've tried and you've complained about it, you've talked about it, you've prayed about it, you've gone to therapy, you've, tried to figure it out, you've gotten all the books, you've read all the articles, leave. That's it. Go be happy. Go do the things that are going to fulfill your spirit. Go do the things that make you feel good. Go do the things that are going to help you remember your power. Go do the things that are going to help you feel good about you. Go do the things that are going to remind you that you are worthy of having the type of love and the type of relationship in your life that you desire, that you don't have to settle for being with anyone just because they're there, or just because of any circumstance. Leave. Figure it out. Figure out all the steps that you need to take in order to be able to have the life that you desire. Because standing next to someone just to say that you're standing next to them, or just to say that you're, that you are, that you are loyal, or that you're figuring it out, or whatever. If you are that unhappy, of course, there are going to be days where you don't enjoy them very much. There are going to be days where they don't enjoy you very much, and that's just a part of being with humans. You know what I mean? But if it's at a point where you all are fighting and tossing and turning, and you can never seem to get out of that sense of tension and turmoil, then why not prioritize the happiness and the health and the wellness of both of the people involved, and leave and separate over trying to stay together and force it and figure it out? And I remember having a conversation with someone, and I said to her, I was just like, she's like, well, the person won't do this, the person won't do that, blah, 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 blah. And I said, I call bullshit. I'm like, I call your bullshit. Because I do not believe that your self-esteem is not in a place where you can see that you are worth more than this. If this is all that's going on, and these are the things that you're being challenged with, and these are the things that are making you feel uncomfortable, and these are the things that are, keeping you up at night, and there's no change, no one wants to talk about it, no one wants to communicate, and yada, 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 then I'm like, I call bullshit. I believe that you have the authority and the power and the wherewithal within yourself to say, this isn't for me and I'm going to stop. I don't believe that any of us don't have that. I don't care what we've been through. I don't care where we're at in our lives. We have it. But we choose not to activate it. And we choose not to activate it out of fear that something better won't come along. We choose not to activate it out of fear that, perhaps maybe it is us. That it's all of our fault. We choose not to activate it because, we're hoping that maybe with just one more push, one more shove, one more try that it'll change. And like I said, every relationship has challenges. No relationship, is out here without bad days, and good and bad days. There's no relationship that's out here that doesn't have that. But at the same time, a friend of mine was reminding me, was just like, but those moments don't last. They're not permanent. You're not waking up every day and feeling this sense of dread about the person that you're laying next to. But if you are, then that's something that needs to be, reevaluated. And that's something that needs to be talked about and to be discussed immediately. But I call bullshit on this idea that you can't leave. because your happiness is just as important as anything else. Your peace of mind is just as important as anything else. Your joy, your sense of aliveness, your purpose is just as important as anything else. You having the desires of your heart is just as important as anything else. So leave. Don't complain about it anymore. Don't be frustrated about it anymore. You know that that's the thing that's been on your heart. So if this is truly where it is, and if you feel like there's no other way to get around the tension, or to get around the discomfort, or to get around anything, then what are you waiting for? What are you holding on to? And I know, and I say this, thinking about my own story and, how long I stayed in a relationship where I was extremely miserable and extremely unhappy and extremely, dependent upon the validation of just being in that particular relationship. I felt like everything in my life was connected to that relationship, or so it had seemed, And I will share with you, I was not the person to leave. I was not the person to leave. And I wish that I had just trusted myself a little bit more to just say, you know what, I want this to stop, and I want to And I know what it feels like to be in that space where you feel embarrassed, you feel tired, you feel, overwhelmed, you feel upset, you feel, like nobody else is going to understand. You're not sure what's going to happen next. But let me tell you something, shit gets better. Shit gets better as soon as you remove that anxiety and that pain and that discomfort from your life. Shit gets better. You don't have to wait around. You don't have to wait around for things to change. You don't have to wait around for, someone to change their act towards you, especially, if there's any type of emotional, physical, or verbal abuse. Leave. That's it. This is somebody, I'm speaking to you as someone who walked around, who hid a black eye for 2 weeks. Leave. It's not worth it. Your life is worth so much more than being held up and hemmed up in a hostile environment where you feel suffocated. And I understand that there are complexities for a lot of people in trying to figure out financially, dissolving ties within your family dynamics. Like, I understand that. But if you are feeling like something is truly off, you have to figure it out. And even though I didn't make the choice to walk out, I was still putting together a small plan step by step as I could get the stamina mentally to talk to people about what was going on, to share with them some of the things that I was being challenged with. I started to put together a small plan to figure out income, figure out, what I was going to do. Should I have to leave the house that we were living in? All of these little things. And even though I didn't make the choice to leave, when they left, I was still in a position to take care of myself. So leave. That's my advice for today. I love y'all.